Hey guys, I got a short little discussion video for you today. But first, we'll go ahead and do a pocket check. Got the Civivi Conspirator. Have not carried this knife in a long time. It's a pretty cool little knife, and I am pairing it with the very cool TKL Knives Accomplice. Good little setup right there. So, as a lot of you know, I live in New Mexico. I grew up in New Mexico, and I end all of my long-form videos with an adios. And over the years, I've gotten several comments off and on, people asking me, oh, do you speak Spanish? Would you ever consider making YouTube videos en español? Pero mi español es muy malo. No tengo el vocabulario para hacer videos sobre cuchillos. Right? I don't think I can make YouTube videos in español. I would not even say that I'm fluent in Spanish. But I've been around Spanish for pretty much my whole life, and so I understand Spanish. I can get by in conversation, but I'm not really all that confident in my Spanish-speaking abilities, right? And in fact, there's a common joke amongst New Mexicans, and normally it's a response that we say to outsiders. The situation kind of goes two different ways. You're talking to someone, and they find out that you're from New Mexico, and obviously this other person is not from New Mexico. And if you're a white boy like me, normally they'll ask something like, oh, can you speak Spanish? If you're a Latino person, normally they'll say something like, oh wow, your English is really good. The response from New Mexicans in both cases goes something along the lines of, I grew up in New Mexico. I can't speak English or Spanish. Now, obviously, this is just a joke. There are tons of New Mexicans who speak nothing but Spanish at home and then only speak English when they're out and about, right? But it does have a nugget of truth to it. Spanglish is a huge part of New Mexican culture. I know that I grew up with it for years and years and years, and it kind of changes the way you think about language in a lot of instances. Like, there's some words that come to me as the Spanish word. A great example is chisme. I don't ever think about the word gossip. I rarely use the word gossip. I use chisme because that's what I grew up with. It's what I use with a lot of my friends. It's just more natural, right? Hey Gideon, Isabel wants to see you after class. She's got some chisme for you. Ah, damn, of course she does. That girl's such a chismosa, right? You know, and so that word has kind of replaced gossip in my vocabulary. Now, I had a teacher in high school who absolutely hated Spanglish. He was not the Spanish teacher. He was a math teacher, but he'd catch us talking Spanglish to each other in the hall, and he'd blow his top. And he'd say, none of you can speak either language, so why the heck are you trying to speak them both? Which is always funny. And we'd say, oh, Mr. Lopez, you know, you're just old school. Welcome to New Mexico.